Right. So what we're expecting for this dry season, we're looking at near normal rainfall and warm temperatures. That's what all our previous speakers spoke about. So we have to pay attention, especially for this dry season. And for the remainder of December, we're looking at having a flood potential being low. As you have seen, the rainfall has picked up a little bit in November, yes, near normal, and in December we're also expecting near more normal. But just now it will change. So what are some of the key features, key climate features that will influence the weather conditions of Trinidad and Tobago? Well, we're looking at two features right now that have taken precedence: the strength of the El Nino, and we're looking at a strong El Nino is well entrenched and is expected to influence a decrease in rainfall occurrence over the Southern Caribbean, including Trinidad and Tobago. And warm sea surface temperatures, yes, it's continuing into the dry season. Mr. Gary just spoke about what happened last year, but we still have warm SST, so we're expecting to have warmer temperatures. And mind you, we are in the cool season, December, January, February, and we are also looking at having just above normal temperatures for the dry season, for the cool season. Going on to the next slide. What we expect for December, January, February, for that season, we are also looking for near normal rainfall. And the reason being is, December to February 2023-24, the rainfall outlook indicates that there are enhanced chances for near normal conditions across Trinidad and Tobago. Most of DGF seasonal rainfall will occur in December. So let's say that in mind, December, right? What will happen in January, February? There are small pockets of below normal rainfall to occur in Trinidad, pockets of Trinidad and Tobago. Moving on to the next slide, we are expecting for the whole of the dry season near normal rainfall. So the 2024 dry season rainfall outlook indicates a strong enhanced signal for usual rainfall amounts with odds in favor of wet as normal across most areas of Trinidad and Tobago. Now, so far we have got near normal all the time. So let's see what, in terms of percentage of average, what we're expecting to get. The percentage of average, remember near normal is between 75% and 125% of one normal. In general, the dry season outlook is likely to get a percentage of average seasonal rainfall that is between 61% to 102% of the average. There is a small pocket out in Tobago that will get less than average rainfall, very minuscule. The country is likely to get 102 dry days during the season, which is just below the average of 108 dry days. And we define a dry day being less than 1 millimeter of rainfall. The country usually gets 3 to 8 7-day dry spells and 1 to 5 10-day dry spells in the dry season. But for 2024, there's a 70% probability for 4 to 7 7-day dry spells and 1 to 3 10-day dry spells. So I'm leading up to something, and you guys will see the bigger picture. So everything looks near normal, right? But then you'll see what will happen during the dry season. Just hold on one moment. So we're looking at the probability for the totals to be the lowest 10%. So 10% of historical values. So imagine take all the figures, look at the lowest 10%, if our rainfall for the dry season will be there. And what we notice here, the probability for totals to be the lowest 10% of all dry season rainfall totals will be 18 and 27%, which is low. So we don't expect the dry season to be harsh, right? Let's take that out of our category for this year, for our lines for this year. So it's not harsh. Although there is a moderate 65% chance of dry spells occur in the first half of the season, the probability for long-term drought conditions by the end of May 2024 is low. Right? So, not harsh, no drought. Right? Mind you, next month we're going to update this projection, so we're all updating our figures, so we'll see how time progresses, how things play off. The next slide, you see our conventional figure, we came up with an average of 412 millimeters. And this is rainfall that is needed for having basically a normal dry season. Once we exceed this, it's a good thing. And you can see most of Trinidad and Tobago, we have exceeded that. So if you look at European information here, the outlook indicates a moderate to high probability, 31 to 98% the national average of 412 will be surpassed. Averages in Eastern Trinidad and Central Tobago have the highest probability exceeding the national average, while areas in Northwest Trinidad and Southwest Tobago have the lower probability of surpassing the national average. So there's a good chance some areas might get just below the 412, so will definitely pass the 412 millimeters. Another slide now, talking about cumulative rainfall. So what are the possible accumulated rainfall totals? The dry season cumulative rainfall totals for 2024 in Trinidad and Tobago is likely to be the highest in northern and eastern areas in the vicinity of Valencia, Northern Coast, San Grande, Trinidad, Charlottesville, Speyside, Roxbury, Glamorgan, and Tobago, where the totals can range between 634 millimeters and 986 millimeters. The lowest dry season totals are likely in northwestern parts of Trinidad, such as St. Joseph, San Juan, Port Spain, Diego Martin, and southwestern Tobago, such as Scarborough, Mason Hall, Crown Point, and Plymouth. So basically, eastern parts of Trinidad and Tobago have more rainfall, less so in the western parts. To look at our next graphics, looking at December's rainfall. So what is the possible rainfall total for December? We're looking at near normal rainfall totals are likely for December. The areas that are likely to get highest rainfall totals are within the northeastern areas of Trinidad and Central Tobago. Few areas in western Trinidad and northeastern Tobago are likely to get rainfall totals below 60 millimeters. Most areas in Trinidad are favored to observe rainfall totals around 200 millimeters, with some areas in northeastern Trinidad likely to exceed 300 millimeters. Tobago is likely to get rainfall totals more than 130 millimeters across most areas, and flash flooding, waterlogged soil, and water pouring likely in December 2023. And I just want to put in some information statistics right here. For December, normally Trinidad will get roughly around 140 millimeters, the average for our reference station at Piaco and Crown Point Tobago around 36 millimeters. So once we cross that, we're just on the average. Moving on to the next slide. Now when things get a little dicey now. Mostly below normal rainfall expected. As you can see, the 3-month period January to March is likely to be mostly drier than usual overall, with less rainfall events occurring in January to March. Most of observable dryness in the environment expected in January to March. So you will see this in the atmosphere, you will see this in terms of rainfall we have in terms of the vegetation, dryness, when you will observe this. On to the next slide. And for the second half of the dry season, above normal rainfall expected. So apparently we're going to get more or less, we do average them out. So March to May 2024 rainfall outlook indicates that above normal rainfall is likely to approach Tobago. Most of the observable wetness in the environment expected in April and May 2024. And in terms of temperatures, warm temperatures are expected for the dry season. Both daytime and nighttime temperatures are likely to be above normal for the majority of both islands. The greatest odds for warmer than average nights and days are in cities, urban and developed areas. Chances for cooler than average nights are higher in rural parts of Trinidad and Tobago. A moderate chance exists for 40% exists for short-term duration or spells during the month of May, which mind you is the beginning of the heat season again. So we came over heat season having warmer temperatures, going through the cool season, and then start back in May, because the heat season from May to October for us. So the beginning of the heat season, then we have high SSD, so let's see what happens when we're expecting higher temperatures. Go on to the next slide. So the climate influences. As observed in the 2023 wet season, the development and strengthening of the El Niño phenomenon has negatively influenced rainfall occurrence over southern Caribbean, including Trinidad and Tobago, except for April and May, where we get above normal rainfall. And Mr. Benjamin mentioned that actually for Piapa, whatever that figure, April we got 260% of the average, because the first part of started, so it picked up. We got 3 days of rainfall, 3 to 4 days consecutively. Consecutively, so it's possible that this year we'll have something similar to that. El Nino conditions continue to be present in the tropical Pacific Ocean and further strengthen in November to a moderately strong El Nino. Sea surface temperatures in waters near Trinidad and Tobago and further east and southeast into the Atlantic Ocean are mostly above average for this season, for this time of year. And it's forecast to continue into the dry season. During the early part of 2023, the North Atlantic Oscillation is generally in a negative phase and is forecast to have a similar pattern during December 2023. The NAO is likely to produce weak winds and will maintain the current positive sea surface temperature anomalies in waters around Trinidad and Tobago. The Marlin Green Oscillation is a moderate strength and is presently over the southeastern Caribbean and is forecast to migrate eastward into the central Atlantic Ocean by the end of the second week of December, and this increases the chances for enhanced rainfall across Trinidad and Tobago during the first 2 weeks of December. And we have seen that over the last 2 weeks we have some significant rainfall. Key messages. There's a moderate probability, 50 to 60% that a moderately and strong El Nino will persist into the months of March 2024 and will likely suppress local rainfall events during the first half of the season, and is possibly weakened, and other climate features will enhance rainfall in the second half of the dry season. So once the strength of the El Nino has decreased, the influence of other features may come into play that will aid in providing the rainfall necessary convergence and coordinates and rainfall for us during the second half of the dry season. December is likely to get near normal rainfall across many areas of Trinidad and Tobago. The 2024 dry season, Trinidad and Tobago rainfall outlook indicates moderate chances for near normal rainfall, dry and unusual conditions during the first half, and wetter than usual conditions during the second half of the season for both islands. The majority of the country is likely to get a percentage of average seasonal rainfall that range between 61% to 101%. Trinidad and Tobago receives an average of 3 to 8 semi-dry spells and 1 to 5 10-day dry spells in the dry season. And for 2024, there is a 70% probability that 7 semi-dry spells and 1 to 3 10-day dry spells. So the outlook indicates relatively moderate and high probabilities, 31 to 98% across for most areas of seasonal rainfall totals to exceed the national dry season average of 112 millimeters. There's a low 8 to 27% probability for totals to be in the lowest 10% of all dry season rainfall totals historical values. The December and the 2024 dry season temperature outlook indicates that above normal seasonal mean maximum minimum temperatures are likely. But at least 3 to 7 cool nights when temperatures can fall below 20 degrees Celsius in Trinidad and 22 degrees Celsius in Tobago, possible in January and February. So we will still have our cool season, some cool days, cool nights also. The Marlin June oscillation is in a moderate phase, a moderate to strong enhancing phase, and is presently over the Eastern Caribbean, and is forecast to migrate eastward into the Central Atlantic by the end of second week of December 2023. This increasing chance of enhanced rainfall across Trinidad and Tobago. The reason I mentioned the second time is that we are very grateful for its presence because it will assist in providing needed rainfall to move into the dry season. Recent rainfall events during November 23 have already influenced surface water flows, river levels, and groundwater recharge. The expected drier than unusual condition in the first half of the dry season will negatively affect surface and groundwater recharge rates and stream flow rates. Initial drier than usual conditions and warmer than usual conditions in the beginning of the dry season will lead to an increase in the breeding areas for insect vectors such as mosquitoes. And the reason why I mention this is like, why would you mention this? Because people might put barrels and so on covered and keep it next to your house or be in your house when you're building your home. And then it is open, mosquitoes can breed, so you get influx of mosquitoes in your area. The earlier part of the dry season is expected to be drier than usual and is likely to increase bush, forest, and landfill fire potential. This will likely reduce air quality and negatively affect persons with existing respiratory and other ailments. The latter half of the dry season is expected to be warmer, be wetter than normal, and therefore the probability of bush, forest, and landfill fire potential is likely to decrease. So in action and preparedness, what we have to do, review also water plans, conserve, store, and manage water safely and adequately. And remember, talk about open, catchment devices, make sure you cover it in case of mosquitoes, breathing in. Sensitize vulnerable communities of the negative impacts of the forecast and action be taken. Raise awareness on dry season agriculture, pests and disease control measures and bushfire risk. Ramp up contingency plans to mitigate a possible occurrence of landfill fires. Review contingency plans to manage dry season spikes in vector-borne diseases such as gastroenteritis, leptospirosis, and thus smoke-related respiratory ailments. And that is the end of